Could you talk to me about your best moment, your best musical moment in Saint-Barth?
That one is simple. It was last year, right next door to here.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, playing music, and Paul McCartney came. I said, nah, can't be. He came in and he looked around the place, and I was playing, and then he left. So I said, oh, maybe it wasn't Paul. Maybe I was imagining in my mind. And then 5 minutes later, he came in with a group of like 6 or 7 people, stayed for dinner, and it was great. He stayed almost 2 hours. He left to go see, I think, the fireworks. But when he was having dinner, I took a pause, and I was tuning my drum, my rusty old snare drum, and from the salt and the sea, tuning the drum and thinking Paul McCartney's eating dinner, and I got a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and it's Paul. I said, Sir Paul, wow.
Did you say hi, bro?
I said, I know, yeah, I looked.
Yeah.
And I said, Sir Paul, that's all I could say. And he just looked at me. I said, I think I might have said, why aren't you sitting over there having your dinner? It's getting cold. Go have your dinner. And he said, I just wanted to come up and congratulate you on a great night of music. I'm really enjoying it, and my friends are really enjoying it. And I said to him, well, I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I said, what do you mean? And I said, my dad woke me up when I was a young boy to watch you on Ed Sullivan's show when you first came to America. And he looked at me and he said, so mate, you must be 56 years old. And I said, wow, yes, in 2 weeks I'll be 56.
And so you've been playing music since this moment?
I was
Since
playing
this
music.
show?
I really started playing. My father tried to teach me piano at I have to say my dad was a musical genius. He played everything.
Oh, really?
And I was surrounded by music forever. Even when I left the house and moved in my apartment, the apartment was above my dad's music school. And I was in that apartment for like forever. And just recently we sold the school. But I'd wake up every day with the sound of music coming from the school. So I was surrounded by music. But yeah, my dad, at 4 years old, he was trying to show me the piano. And I kept banging the piano, telling him I think I wanted the drums, the battery. And he said, no, play the piano. And then when he woke me up to watch Ed Sullivan, I said, Dad, there's no piano. And he said, okay, I'll show you some guitar. And he showed me some guitar. And finally at 10, he gave in because I was just banging everything. He said, okay, I'm going to teach you the battery, the drums. And he taught me. He taught me a rumba, a bossa nova, a cha-cha, a merengue, and a twist. 5 beats. And then took me to work.
And were you always
He took me to work. I was 11 years old when he took me to play with him.
Oh, yes, you were playing with your dad.
Yeah, I played shows with my dad at 11 years old.
And then you play by yourself or in a band? Or
I always played, I played with my dad, and then I right away at 11 years old, I put a little rock band together. And we knew 4 songs, and we played parties knowing only 4 songs. We would just repeat the same 4 songs all the time.
Where were you playing?
In New York.
Okay, in bars or?
No, little parties.
Okay.
I remember playing a party not too far from my house. It was a girl in my class that I had a crush on, and it was her birthday. And she hired my band, and we played, and we only knew the 4 songs. We kept repeating the 4 songs, and my dad and mom could hear from the backyard because it was close. And I remember my dad making me cutting out a piece of cardboard and writing the name of the band on the cardboard and putting it on my drum. So like the Beatles had on their drum, I had the torsional vibrations on my drum.
That's great.
And he said to me, though, you got to learn more songs. I kept hearing the same 4 songs, so that we started learning more songs.
So you told us about your best moment in Saint-Barth, musical moment. What was your best musical experience in your life?
Okay.
If there's one.
Yeah. It's funny because it's, I'd have to put 2 together because of course the first one would be when I did my first ever job, and that was with my father, and I only knew the 5 beats that he showed me by bossa nova, merengue, rumba, cha-cha, and the twist. I remember that so much. And that first job, he put a suit and tie. I never wore a tie again after, but I had a suit and tie, and I went on the job, and he paid me a lot of money for that job, and I was only like 11 years old, so I had all this money from the job, and I played with my father, and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to play music, nothing else. And all I've done my whole life is play music. But I would say that one, and then in 1983, I got to play a show in New York City with my musical idol, Sly and the Family Stone. It was the luckiest and best night of my life, and my father was there, and my brother, and my family, and all my friends, and it was sold out, and that was the best moment of my life.
Did that change
musically? That night, that was it. I was funky. I was going to play funky music for the rest of my life. I knew that was my calling, funky music.
So this moment changed something in you?
Oh yeah. I'm still living on that moment. What is this? 2000 and what? 2015,
I think.
I'm still living on that moment from 1983. Sly Stone. Yes,
that's right. Now tell us about Saint-Barth. Why Saint-Barth? When did you come
Crazy
first?
Crazy story. It was sad in New York because the Twin Towers just came down, and it was very sad. I never saw anything like that in my life, and I knew at that time I was searching for a while, even before the tragedy, for balance in my life, to have balance with New York and some kind of tropical island, because I was always going to Mexico. East Lemuel Harris was my place. Always going to Montauk in the summer, getting in my car, driving 3 hours just so I could breathe. New York is great. I love New York, and for music, it's fantastic because it always kicked me in the behind to be better, because the musicality is so high, and that's the great part of it. But I wanted balance, and I was always searching for that balance. And after the tragedy, I said, okay, now I need a little break from New York, and it happened right at around January 2002. I still play with a band called Days of Wild. It's a funky band from New York, and back then I was playing with that band, and they asked the musical director and the guitar player from Enrique Iglesias. You know Enrique Iglesias, son of Julio. He just broke really big. He had that song Heroes, and it happened Heroes the same time as the tragedy in New York, so he had a #1 hit, and the guy blew up, so he needed a band. And the musical director, a guitar player friend of mine, happened to see me play drums, and my bass player play, and my keyboard player play in New York City on Bleecker Street, and he asked all three of us to audition for Enrique. So I was all set to audition for Enrique Iglesias when another friend of mine asked me, hey man, you want to come to St. Bart's for 3 weeks and put a band together? And I was like, what's St. Bart's, you know? And he told me about it, and then I tried to look on the internet, and this was 2002, you know, as best I could, find out information. And I said, you know what? I think I'd rather go to St. Bart's and do the audition. So I didn't do the audition, and it's funny because the bass player, he got the gig, and he went up. My friend went to play with Enrique for like 3 years. The keyboard player also turned it down like I did, because he just, for whatever reason, he didn't want to travel at that time. Anyway, so I went to St. Bart's, and that was it. Changed my life. I found balance.
And now you have to bring Enrique in Saint-Barth. That would be to close the loop. Okay, thank you very much.
Actually, he did come to New York. He came to St. Bart's.
Did he?
He did a New Year's Eve, I think, a New Year's Eve party for Nikki Beach, like a year after I came, and the bass player friend came, and the musical director, my friend, came. So I was reunited with all of them, and they did come to St. Bart's. It's funny, I forgot about that.
So now that's cool. We're very happy to have you on La Terrace this Sunday for Easter barbecue. Now we have to find what Easter barbecue can be.
Yes, what could Easter barbecue be?
We're
thinking of all kinds of things, you know.
Funky fish.
Yeah, funky fish.
Funky eggs on barbecue.
Chocolate. Everything's got to be funky. Funky's in my brain.
So we'll have you and Pierre this Sunday.
Yeah, Pierre Nesta, he's fantastic. What a talent here on the island. Plays guitar, sings, writes songs. We've had a great season. I've had a great season playing with him.
Have you ever sing by yourself?
Nah.
No? You
nah.
Don't try?
I'm a drummer, so I'm a drummer. I sing some backgrounds off the mic, like just goofing around. People say they're good, but like Pierre, he's all the time, get on the mic, Papa, get on the mic. But I feel if I get on the mic, I won't be able to do it. It's funny. I still have that kind of stage fright, but not for drums. Drums, it's when I play drums, or here I'm in the island, I'm shaking coconuts, I call it percussion. It's like my home, man. It's my apartment. It's like where I live. I feel the most comfortable.
And we'll be so happy to have you the other Sunday, Sunday the 12th. I think it will be your last concert on the island, is that right?
Yes, I'll go home on the 15th this year of April, and very excited to start my Thursdays with Days of Wild back at the Red Lion. That's our residency. Every Thursday, 1 o'clock in the morning, Red Lion, Days of Wild. So yeah, I go home on the 15th. So maybe the 12th we could have we could really go crazy here at the terrace. Let's go crazy.
Absolutely. Okay, so thank you very much, Papa. We're happy to see you this Sunday with Pierre.
Insane in the membrane.
Sure.
Peace and love. Respect.